Hello everyone. We are now on week 2. We are here Monday, beginning week 2. I'm hoping to, not hoping, I'm making it a point to make sure that I post these YouTube videos that will hopefully explain and clarify what we're doing for that particular week. I apologize for the library research activity attachment, that Word document. I know that many of you were unable to open that. Again, if there are any tech issues that are not on the course shell side, I would highly recommend that you get in contact with the ops tech folks to see if maybe they can facilitate any sort of conversation between the two of you, or maybe among the three of us, because it might be a course shell issue. It might be just something that needs to be worked out on the student end as well. So just be aware of that, especially as we get into these safe assignments with our papers. I really am a stickler on making sure that it's not late. We want to make sure that we get things turned in on time. And of course, if you want to see where I am on that issue with late work, you can refer to the syllabus. But we just want to make sure that those sorts of issues are fixed well in advance so that we don't have any problems with turning stuff in. But I think I'm just foreseeing what has happened in the past. Nothing happened really this week, but I just want to make sure that hopefully there's smooth sailing for the next 7 weeks. And we're already 1 week down. I appreciate the blogs and the posts and the research activities that were turned in. One note that I wanted to make regarding those research questions, there were some that tended to be again on the broad end of something that's research oriented or researchable. We want to make sure that we focus in and hone in on a specific issue so that it is not too vague. So just be aware of that, and if you have questions about your particular research question or where you want to go with your argument, then definitely you can feel free to email me and we can pare down the question together that way. Regarding this week, let's see. I want us again just to take a look at each week, week by week. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves because that's where the stress and the anxiety come in, and we definitely just want to kind of take it slowly and day by day, week by week type of thing. So for this week, we are continuing on basically learning how to argue academically in an academic sense, and that really is sort of where we're going for the first half of our time together. For this week's chapters, they're all really important because they are great connections to what you'll be writing for the rest of the session as we focus on argument. An argument in our discourse community and field of study. The page numbers I'm about to refer to, they do refer to the 10th edition. So for chapter 6, arguing a position, it's a great chapter because from 247 to 249, we're looking at the structure of an argument. Excuse me. You want to take a look at Statsky's argument, Estrada's argument, Etzioni's argument, Solov's argument, and take a look at how they break down what they have to say. And how they function, or how each essay functions and argues its case. Look at how they use persuasive techniques and strategies, because those are things that, while we don't want to appeal to emotion so much, but if we're looking at the logic and the ethics and the truth behind what it is you're trying to argue, that creates more of a reliable piece, a solid argument. What I like about that section from 274 to 295, it ends with a great guide on how to write an argumentative essay. And that's where we're going here with paper 1. Excuse me. So you may want to take a look at that as an option. When you continue on and you take a look at chapter 19, Again, going back to arguing, this is all about how to support your argument. Looking at objections, alternatives, readers' concerns. I am making sure, in fact, I know that it says in the learning activity that you must address the reader's concerns or objections, possible objections. If you do not address those concerns, or you don't know how to address those concerns, Chapter 19 is a great chapter where they give you examples of how you can go about doing that. But if you don't provide that piece in your essay, then you will not do well in your essay grade-wise, because we do need to make sure that we are having that conversation with those that may disagree with us. Okay, so if you're looking at acknowledging the reader's concerns, refuting, conceding, typical logical fallacies that we want to stay away from, sentence strategies that would make for fluid writing or better writing, then take a look at 621 to 625, and that's in Chapter 19. Remember, both of these chapters for the discussion board activity this week, we'll get to that in just a minute. For Chapter 26, this is all about using sources to support your ideas. This week's paper, you must include 3 academic sources. This chapter is all about synthesizing, paraphrasing, quoting properly, citing properly, and knowing what you need to do so that you don't plagiarize. When is paraphrasing not enough? Knowing how to cite correctly. So this is huge on page 698 to 699. You want to take a look there. That's something really that I really want you to hone in there on Chapter 26 when we're looking at how to synthesize and bring in sources to support your argument. Excuse me, guys. For this week's learning activities breakdown, the pre-writing journal, what I want you to do is I want you to submit a reflection of what you're developing for this week's paper. I'm looking for depth and thought. You can add to it throughout the week, and I won't score it until Sunday evening. All right. Really, what I'm looking, it's an outline. So if it's messy and you do have some thoughts that may be out of order, that's okay. It's an outline. What I'm really looking for is your depth of thought, and what are you really, how are you really trying to attack this particular argument that you want to focus on. Also, you may want to include how you might synthesize or bring in your 3 sources in that outline when you're taking a look at breaking down the pre-writing journal. That might be something also that you want to look at. The lectures, the well-presented subject, I want you to just take a look at that on your own. Dr. Bartell has given her permission for us to use those. They're part of the course shell, so they are there for all of us that are teaching this class. She has done a lot of the work for us, which has made this a whole lot easier. So take a look at the well-presented subject on your own. That's all about formatting and structuring the essay. Not an informational essay, it's an argument, remember that, okay? The well-supported position and effective counter-argument. You want to make sure that you take a look at that and refer back to, I think it's the children need to play, not compete, on page 250, because I think that it addresses that. I think she might address that in that little bit that she has included. And then also take a look at fallacies. This is a great presentation. This is where we don't want to go in our writing. And also the St. Martin's Guide has examples of these on 620 to 621. For your reading quiz, you're going to refer back to your St. Martin's Guide, Chapter 6, Arguing a Position, and your Writer's Brief Handbook, Writing in College and Beyond, pages 47 to 84. One thing that I do in the face-to-face class is I allow people to work collectively, collaborate on these. That's fine. If you guys are partnering up with other people in the class, go for it. That's fine if you do the work together. I'm okay with that. So the reading quiz, that's something that you want to make sure you get done as well. So for the essay, the position paper, make sure that you read through the learning activities directions. for this specific paper, okay? Because I know I won't get everything here, but it's sort of like in a nutshell is what I try to do here. But on the learning activity for week 2, you look at the position paper, read those directions carefully, and again, if you have questions, you need clarification, please make sure you email me so that I can definitely get back to you and clarify something before it's too late. We definitely do not want to be starting the paper too late in the week this week, especially because there's the research portion that's part of it. Research sources, you could definitely make sure you use from what you took from last week in that research activity. We are looking at 3 full pages. 3 full pages. There's the 3. Not 2.5 pages, not 2 pages and a line, that type of thing. Look for 3 full pages. We do want you to use the Smart Thinking tutorial, and this is through CBU. Make sure you submit an essay draft and get feedback. Give yourself about 3 days for turnaround, because it does take some time to get it back to you. I know there have been glitches in the past with the Smart Thinking, so hopefully we're good to go this time around. But what am I right? I'm looking at my outline here. That's why I keep looking down. There have been glitches with the submissions. Smart Thinking is working on this, so keep submitting. And hopefully they'll get something back to you in a timely manner. Give yourself time for this, though, as you submit something. It does not have to be completed. It could be like a page and a half. As long as you show that you've submitted your work, that's what we definitely make sure we want to have happen. So that you can get those suggestions, so that you can get to your final revisions and turn in what you need to by Sunday evening. Each tutor will provide different suggestions, so be careful with that. I had a student a couple sessions ago that I think turned in one paper to 4 different tutors, and they all gave different advice, and he was confused. And well, of course, because this is rather subjective. So they try to be general in what they suggest, but if you're giving your paper, submitting your paper in Smart Thinking to too many tutors, then that could be a problem. So just look to one. Just look to one and go with their suggestions, and then move forward. Okay. Your topic selection, when you're thinking about what you want to write, again, like I suggested last week, think ahead to think about what you're passionate about, what you are into, perhaps your major. What is it that you are looking towards? We also want to think smarter, do things in a smart way, so that we don't have to reinvent new topics as we add on to this paper for paper 2, and then we get into our research paper and our discourse community project. You'll see that if you will literally follow with my suggestion, and that is to work with that research question from the beginning and continue to add on to it, then you will not have to redevelop and rewrite something each time a paper is due. You'll simply just be building on to it. And so I really want to make this working smarter, not harder type of thing. So be thinking about your topic selection and the argument and the case that you're going to take a look at for this particular paper, that you could then develop into like a problem solution piece for the next paper that we're going to get to eventually. All right. Again, try to stay specific to your field of study, your major, the community you're involved in, something you're passionate about. Pick a topic you are interested in knowing more about, or that you know something about, but remember to not get too emotionally attached. We want to leave emotion at the door with this argument. We want to do our best to leave pathos, emotions, out of a well-articulated piece. If we are too emotionally attached to the topic, those emotions will get in the way of a proper argument. A paper on a subject that you are bored with or disinterested in will be just that. Not only for you, but for me. And it'll show on the paper. So think carefully about what it is you want to investigate, and if you have questions or you want to get into, I'm just laughing because I don't know why I'd want to write a paper on something I'm not interested in, you know, or have questions about. That really, I think, makes this, you know, more of an education for all of us. And I can see that when the person's bored with what they're writing about versus the person that is really passionate and has genuine questions. So if you have questions, again, you know, you want to go a certain way, feel free to email me in the next, I would say, you know, 24 to 48 hours, maybe not even that long. If you can get within, you know, the next 24 hours, that would really help so we can have that conversation about, you know, where you should go with your particular topic. We don't want our topic to be too narrow, or too broad. It shouldn't be a topic that has a general consensus like, is smoking bad for your health? I think, well, we've determined that. The research has determined that. In fact, I think that Dr. Bartels, she's alluded to that in those that lecture series. That might be a useful topic in, you know, the 1950s, 1960s, but because there was very little research about it then, but now we can clearly see what research has proven regarding that particular question. We want to stay away from cliched arguments such as taking on abortion. I just think that ultimately comes off as being way too emotional, and we just need to be careful with that. I'm not picking a side, but I'm just saying that we want to stay clear of that kind of stuff. Let's see. Let me look at my notes here. We went over smart thinking. We went over the pre-writing journals. The discussion board. Analyzing position arguments. Make sure you look at chapter 6 and 19. Okay. I think that's that around. Okay. I think I'm sorry, guys. I guess I want to go back to the Children Need to Play, Not Compete essay in chapter 6, page 250 in the 10th edition. If you watch, I guess that's, okay, that's why my notes are out of order. Need to make a note of that for next time. Sorry, folks. If you watch the well-supported position lecture, you'll see that I believe that essay is used as an example, and it's all about the thesis. Thesis, thesis, thesis. You want to compose a thoughtful, well-articulated piece. So remember that when you're thinking about your paper, the paper 1 here. When you're watching the effective counter-arguments lecture, you want to make sure that you are thinking about chapter 19, addressing readers' concerns and concessions and refuting the opposition. If you concede and address the objections too much, then you break down your own argument. And you don't want to do that. You become wishy-washy. You vacillate. You're on the fence. We don't want to do that. We definitely want to take a position, a firm position, and address what concerns there may be, and then move on to bolster our own particular position. Resist emotion as much as possible. Man, I think that is it. I'm trying to make sure that, oh man, I went almost 20 minutes again this time around. If I missed something, then, you know, make sure you give me an email. If I forgot something, I will definitely make sure I post, you know, another YouTube or some sort of comment to keep you updated, guys. Again, you know where I am via email, so if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please let me know. Press on day by day, one foot in front of the other, you guys. Do your best to keep yourself structured and, you know, just take it bit by bit. Don't get ahead of yourself. That's where we get stressed and become anxious. Take care, you guys, and I will be seeing you next week for our next YouTube video. All right, bye.